As you can tell by the bare background, this is going to be a different type of video than the normal ones you're going to see, and one that when I started the channel, I never thought that I would put out something like this. So there was someone from the LAHF card community that passed away in May, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to say a few words about him, and then to have a way of remembering him on the channel, to be able to share the memories I have of him, and then to be able to share what I'm going to be doing for him in the background of my videos. So bear with me. This friend I met, his name was John, and I met him on Instagram, and it was through the channel. He saw some of my videos on YouTube, and on Instagram he started to share some of his hits that he had during some of his breaks. And he actually started off, the friendship was started by him helping me with a wrestler name that I'd forgotten during one of my videos. And then he mentioned that he PCs David Justice cards in case I came across any, and then that's how he started. And as he started to share hits from his breaks, he would always give me these great pictures, up close pictures. It was just great to see the enthusiasm that he had behind it. And the more he shared his hits, the more we started to chat. And the big thing I got about John early on is that he was always appreciative of all the cards he got, and I could tell that just from the way that he phrased his words. He also gave me a lot of words of encouragement about the channel and the videos that I would put out, and that was huge when I was starting out on YouTube, trying to make connections with people, and trying to see if I'm making videos that people want to watch. So that really helped me a lot. And as that progressed, John found it easier to share more memories of sports, particularly the ones that made a mark on him. If you remember, I shared a Brian Cole story in one of my videos. All that information was given to me by John. And he told me at the end of that he had an 8x10 picture of Cole from a newspaper or a program that he hung on his wall, and how he remembered the times he saw him play and how his life was cut too early. He went to minor league games. He saw Brian Cole in person. It just made a mark of how this talented young person, his life was taken way too short. He loved baseball, and I always loved hearing his stories and his sharing of his anecdotes. He mentioned he only got to see the Braves play once. That was his team, the Braves. But it was when John Smoltz was on the mound, and that was during his Cy Young year. So it was really cool, or Cy Young days. That was really cool for him to be able to see John Smoltz on the mound pitch that one time for the Braves. He also told me a story that when he was lucky enough to get a bat from Jason Phillips back in 2001, and then about a decade later was able to get a bat from his brother, Kyle. And then he would also share pics, and this is a pic that always made me smile. This is a pic of John at a minor league game with his grandson, posing with the mascot. They looked like they had a great time there. I don't know. I always, whenever I needed a smile, it was just great to see that picture, and I love the stories that he shared. Conversations would sometimes turn to wrestling, as I did more of that on the channel. He was proud to show off his collection, and he had some great stories as well. And you could tell that John was very knowledgeable about wrestling. Here is a photo that was taken of John with the Bella twins back there. So it was just that our interests lined up incredibly well, and it was just fun to share those memories and the cards with someone particularly like John. Life got a little rough for him in October 2019. He was in a serious car crash, and there would be times he was down because of that and the injuries he was going through. But I always tried to give encouragement to lift his spirits, and collecting was a way that we could again connect and take his mind off of things for a while. He continued to share hits, and he even told me stories about how he was sharing the hobby with his grandson, who always seemed to get the better hits in his blaster boxes. And it was fun to get that little nods. There was one instance where he got the Hank Aaron rookie card out of the Series 1 blasters. And John tried to get it, tried to trade it from his grandson, but his grandson, quote unquote, ruthlessly held on to the card. He wanted way too much, so John laughed about that. Things turned on May 8th. He told me that he had a diagnosis of stage 4 cancer in 2 areas of his body, and this to me seemed out of nowhere. I didn't even know that he was going through any of this stuff, and it came out of the blue. He was, at this point, he was in the hospital, and he already had 4 blood transfusions. Chemo was going to start soon, and because of the pandemic, he wasn't allowed to have anyone there, including his wife, Kelly, who he loves so, so much. And hearing this and the situation that he was in, I, I, it tore me apart inside. And I did my best to take his mind off of what he was going through, but you could tell that there was a shift of tone from our previous chats. And from that moment, we only had 2 more conversations. I'm not going to go into specifics because there are some things that I'm not going to share with anybody. But those conversations were important to the both of us. And I found out from his wife, Kelly, that John passed away almost about 2 weeks from May 8th. He passed away on May 21st, early in the morning. So in our last conversation, I mentioned to John that I wanted to have something in the background of my videos to remind me of our friendship and how much I was just lucky to just know John. And I suggested a David Justice card, and he wanted to, and I asked him which one, and he came back that he wanted a Dave Justice auto. So I went on to eBay, and of course I was looking for 101s because that made the most sense to me. And all of a sudden I found a couple 2 cards that said Ring of Honor, and it had a David Justice card. And I thought that this card, he loved the Braves. This was when they were champions. It has Ring of Honor on the top, and it has his favorite player autographed. And I thought this was the perfect card that I could put in the background of my videos in remembrance of John. So if you see this card in videos, you will see this card in the background of videos. It's not because I'm a Braves fan. It's because I'm remembering John. Yeah, hopefully I'm not going to have to do another one of these cards soon for people, but this is going to be the start of my Ring of Honor in case other people have something, that happens like this. You're going to see that in there. So, John, this card is for you. So I just want to leave you with this because Kelly on her Facebook mentioned that she didn't want to have sad videos. She wanted memories to be happy. So I just wanted to share how happy and how lucky I am to have YouTube, to have Instagram, to be able to connect with somebody that I never met in person, but we had that immediate connection through words and even more through collecting. And that's, regardless of how much boxes are, how much singles have gotten to be, the essence of collecting is making a connection between the cards and you, and even you and others. And just remember how lucky we are to be able to have this hobby that bridges people from all over the world, to be able to share our love and our passion with each other. And I do want to leave you with this too, is that, kindness is free. In the times that we live in, we need kindness and love even more. And I would just say to be appreciative of those in your life, family, friends. Just tell them how lucky you are to have them in your life. You never know how much time you're going to have and the ability to be able to say that to them. So just take a moment to do that, in remembrance of what's going on. And I'll just say that, John, thank you for all the times that you gave, for the ability to share collecting with you, and that you will be missed, but definitely not forgotten.